the East Coast for our company. So I was doing the Southeast, and the sales were so good that they promoted me to the entire East Coast. So I do from Mississippi to Maine, all the way down to Florida, that whole area. And so I'm glad to be here. I'm familiar with you because I did come in and take a look around, and I saw, what you guys do on a daily basis. And I'm here just to make this fun, number one, and also to kind of get you familiar with Ionic so that you know what our company's about, and then when people ask questions, you can answer them. However, I like cheat sheets, so I gave you a folder with some of the things that you carry on it, and on the inside of it, there's a little, this is a nice little cheat sheet, and it talks about some of the things that I'm gonna be talking about in it. So if you want to refer to this after I leave, it's a kind of nice thing to have. Also, this folder has my contact information on it, so if you ever have a question, whether it be technical, dollar stuff, I don't know, because you set prices, so I'm not going to be talking about the cost of anything. That's for the sales manager. I'm sure he's like, oh, I gotta get my sheet out, I don't know. Okay, the very first thing I would like to know, can anybody tell me anything about Ionic to begin with? Do you know anything about our company at all? Or is this new to everybody? How many of you is it new to you?
Well, the line is new to us.
Okay, great, awesome. How many of you have heard of Ionics in the hair industry? God, everybody asks questions about that. Well, I'm going to make it super, super simple for you because to me, I don't like anything that's smoke and mirror. I want people to explain something to me so that I can understand it. So that's what we're going to do. In the wintertime, when you're at home and you want to play that fun little game that you did when you were a kid where you put socks on your feet, and you run them across the carpet and you go like this, what happens? Static, and you snap somebody, okay? That's ions in the atmosphere, okay? Very simple. And also, if you rub a balloon on top of your head and go like this and the hair goes, you did that as a kid too. That's static. That is static electricity. Static, positive energy pushes away. That's why your hair goes up. That's why you snap somebody. Positive pushes away, okay? So everybody put your hands up like this. Because you're not going to remember it unless you have a fun game, right? So these are your cuticles on your hair. So what negative does is it draws, put your thumbs together, draws the cuticle shut and locks moisture inside the hair. Okay, so what does it do? Say it with me. Draws the cuticle closed and locks moisture inside the hair. Namaste. Anybody do yoga? So it closes it. What is the benefit of that? Incredible shine inside the hair. Because what reflects light is moisture. So when you have a cuticle that's blown wide open and the cuticle is rough and it's dehydrated, hair gets a flat, dull look to it, right? But if you close that cuticle down and you lock moisture inside the hair, a lot of people will say, how does that work? I don't understand that. I'm going to show you with her hair. Oh no, we're just going to take a little piece here. If you take our brushes and just brush 4 or 5 times over the hair, can you see what happened? See the shine starting to happen? That's because it is sealing that cuticle shut, just like opposite of static electricity. Instead of blowing the cuticle open, it seals it down. Look how beautiful and shiny her hair is, all right? The way this happens is Fernando is married to Kay, and they've been married for 40 plus happy years together. And in Japan, there was a chemist that found a volcanic region in Japan. And what they noticed about this volcanic region is a lot of people were living to be a lot older, and they had very low rates of disease. So they're like, oh my gosh, it's the fountain of youth. We got to figure out, is it the water? Is it the air that they breathe? Is it the altitude they live at? Is it the food they're eating? So what they did was they did a test, and what they found was there's 32 minerals in the volcanic rock there that emit negative ions. Remember, positive pushes away and negative does what? Seals it shut, right? So it also happens naturally in nature. have you ever noticed after a lightning storm how fresh and clean the air smell? That's because lightning puts off a negative charge after it goes off. There's a negative charge in the atmosphere, and it cleans the air and clarifies the air. It also happens when waves crash. When you're walking up and down the beach, have you ever noticed how much better you feel when you're walking on the beach? Same thing, and that happens very natural in nature. But what happens is fluorescent lighting puts off a very large positive charge, and so do electric power lines. Have you ever heard you shouldn't live under power lines because it can cause cancer? I'm going to tell you why. It's not because you get cancer because of it, it's because it dehydrates your body. When your body is dehydrated, it's easier for disease and germs to get inside. If you're hydrated, then it doesn't absorb things from the atmosphere. Does that make sense? Okay? So the negative charge is sealing a cuticle down. So all you have to remember is negative draws in. He took these 32 minerals that he found because he was sitting on a plane next to a guy. The guy was actually the chemist. Talk about a God moment, right? You're sitting there flying back from Japan, and there's a guy sitting next to you that actually is studying the 32 mineral effect. They put it in paint, they put it in concrete, this 32 mineral blend, and they put it in bracelets and in necklaces. Have you seen those Ionic necklaces and stuff people wear? So Fernando asked him, what do you think would happen if I took this 32 mineral blend and I put it in my tools? So what he does is, it's not a coating. The bristles of the brushes, I'm going to pass these around. You guys carry these, by the way. In the bristles of the brushes, these are 3 different sizes of the brushes. He does not, if there, you see hair in there, it's mannequin hair, or her hair. He doesn't make a coating. What he does is when the plastic is wet, he puts the 32 minerals in it. When the metal is molten, he puts the minerals in it. Okay? When the ceramic is wet, he puts the minerals in it. And then it hardens. So as long as the tool is there, as long as there's plates on the irons, as long as there's bristles in the brushes, you still will get that negative sealing of the moisture. Now, a lot of tools put ionic on them. And what a lot of people don't understand is that they don't have the negative charge. Ours do. They can say ionic all day long because everything electrical is ionic, right? So when people ask you, you can say, these tools have a negative ionic charge that seal the cuticle and lock moisture. Simple. Seal the cuticle, lock moisture inside. University of Berkeley did a study. We didn't even know they were doing it. They cut all the hair shafts open of all the ionic tools. Our tool was the only one that what? Shut the cuticle down, and it had up to 59% more moisture inside the hair. When people start to use these tools, they see the difference. When hairstylists start to use them, they'll notice a difference. 14 years ago, I was working in the field, and I was actually a Matrix. I worked with Matrix and Redken and some of the other ones. And I met Fernando, and I was so impressed with the fact, similar to Redken, that everything he does has science behind it, and you can explain it. And one of the reasons why we've gone from nobody to number 1 in 14 years is because we have the best warranties in the industry, number 1. And number 2, our tools do what they say they're going to do. Imagine that. Shut the front door. So, what he did was he started with a blow dryer. And his blow dryer burnt up, and he said, I want to make a blow dryer that lasts, and I want to make it, make the hair feel better. Now, I'm going to show you guys, everybody stand up. I told you this is interactive. You're going to get interactive. This is the money test. If you do this with any clients, come on over here. And what I want you to do is rub your 2 hands together. I'm going to rub the heat over your fingers, and you are going to feel your fingers getting softer. Okay. Just one hand. You do the other one too, but you can feel how much softer your hand is getting. Rub your hand. It gets silkier and softer. Go ahead like this. You have to hold it just a minute. Go like that.
Like if you put powder.
No, you can do this to people so that they can feel the soft texture of their fingers. Feel that? Yeah. I call that the money test because if you do that, you're going to make some money. because they can actually feel that. When I started with him 14 years ago, I'm of Irish descent, and I have very, very dry skin. All Irish people do. We don't, I guess because we ate potatoes for so many generations, I don't know. But when I would blow dry hair all day long, because I actually worked on stage with Fernando, my hands would get dry, my cuticles would split, and my nails would break. I could not keep my nails because they would constantly be cracking. When I started using these tools, my hands were soft at the end of the day. That's what sold me on these tools. And I do this every day, all up and down. After I get out of the shower, I'm 80 years old. You think it's working? You know, it's important to understand the technology, but what we do is beauty powered by nature, and it used to be on the folders now. Yeah, it's all back.